In this video, I'll be talking about big advertisement that the British royals started to run in my face. Completely past initial agreements. They started to advertise. I know what many people would be extremely fortunate about. They started to advertise me. I would not even talk about this stuff, but it's very important to talk about this stuff. It's not because I would be interested in it. I must say I am absolutely disgusted. Repulsed with this stuff. Totally repulsed to have you involved in this thing. Repulsed to have taken your sides. Repulsed to have seen myself in you. I'm gonna take you to a little trip to... This is just a little bit about the stuff that went on during MK Ultra. I'm gonna take you a trip to Canada. Both Prince Harry, Prince William were involved in this stuff. I did spoke to you about the Alcatraz, how they advertised me, Alcatraz Island in what is it, San Francisco Bay, that I would become an owner of the Alcatraz Island. But here, on this side of the Canada and United States, not too far from New York, the British royals advertised me. 2 islands that I would know of. It was specifically Prince Charles, now King Charles, who advertised me. Right, what you see right there. It wasn't only this. They advertised me also other lands, but everybody from this island was involved in this. It's called the Grand Manan Island. And this is right on the border with the US and with the Canada. And that's what they would keep taking me and claim me that this is the island I would own, this is the island where I would be a king, that this would be a kingdom, that this would be my land, sovereign. In fact, that I would purchase out every resident on this island. That's where they keep delivering me. That's also one of the locations. That's where they flashed. How realistic was this stuff? This is maybe the most disgusting thing that I ever heard of in my lifetime, with Charles demonstrating me the lakes, with Edward showing me around, admiring the nature, and hyping people to see themselves in a future buyout, and even the right to stay after I would purchase them out. The residents here were really happy. That's what they claim. They would just, it wouldn't be a problem because the Canada is so big they would get themselves other locations. Not everybody shared that opinion, but there were people that were shimmy prone, willing to do this type of business and turn the little island here into a private kingdom through the British Royals. This was one location. Like I said, everybody was involved in this stuff. There was lynching that went on also on this island. MK Ultra butchery, I would refer to one as. Now, this is when you are the unofficial king, and people get motivation to get you killed, literally. With some people supposedly siding with you, pretty much the same schizophrenia. They were running all over the place, also in other parts of the Canada. And then there is another location that British Royals would hijack me to. And this one is located, that's a way bigger location. And it's also an island. That will be this piece of right here. They wanted the island for me. It's called Anticosti Island. This is Prince William. They know all about this stuff. They basically provoked people, locals, and etc., etc., and drove people insane with all kinds of issues, confronted them, and turning a bad joke, nasty stuff into lunacy, driving people crazy. This is just the way it was. This is exactly the way it was. Americans were more. Americans were more. You know, so I don't want to waste my time on this stuff, but everywhere, all over the Canada, people got to see me. I don't even understand if it makes sense. The police, Slovenian police, witnessed this shit to talk about this crap. This wasn't the only thing. That was time when British Royals advertised not even too long ago, entire Nunavut province, etc., 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 and were extremely active along the border with the US, claiming, searching for the properties for me. That's what they were like. Play with the sanity, like literally giving the idea that I need like country of my own, and at the same time using the opportunity to investigate their own world of affairs. Now you would say, this is crazy, man, this is not true. Many locations around here, islands, that is exactly the truth. This shit did not only go here in on a border between the US and between the Canada. This here was discussed as a future homeland by American side. Maybe they would sell it. That's what the stuff, this is the stuff that went on. Who knows me here? In this, everybody knows me around here. In this here, weird stuff. A little piece of land located on the Canadian side. Yeah, they were all the time settling the border differences with the US, including on this side here. This is again very, very similar situation that again involved Americans offering the land, just as you have seen over there, known as Point Roberts. Maybe that they would maybe give me this kind of land and so on. What happened was, this isn't only here that took place in the United States of America, Canada. It happened also in other locations around the world. Why am I doing this shit now? I'm doing this shit because there is somebody else they're gonna do the same thing. It's probably somebody else whom they're doing the same shit. Somebody needs to expose this stuff. Exactly because of the reasons that I stated. Somebody needs to stop this. It sounds crazy, it sounds incredible, yet it is totally factual. The people whom I just demonstrated, you've been watching, are doing it. Killing like this. Right here, you see what you see here. You see the North Sea right here. This is what I actually proposed British to allow me to build Inlet during MK Ultra. That will be basically east of England, Britain. I was stupid. I was just fucking stupid, really. I just see how fucking stupid I really was. They came up with the idea that they would give me the Isle of Man, that this will become my property. The other day I just noticed that there is a place known as Great Britain here. I thought always that Great Britain is and England and Scotland, basically everything, and they're gonna resent you if you ever say Wales and so on. They like to think that Northern Ireland is included in Arada, as they refer to as United Kingdom. So there might be very sensitive stuff they might confront you with if you ever say Great Britain. They pronounce that as an insult to the British, and proudly display dislike for the Great Britain name through a con artist business. Yeah, so the kingdom is the one that also involves the Northern Ireland, taken from the Irish basically, and the Britain only involves what you see in the island where you see England, you know, and you see Scotland all the way to Scotland. That's all there is. That's why it's inferior, you know. Wales, England, Scotland are inferior to United Kingdom, which also involves Northern Ireland. So the people from Great Britain were here in our house too, claimed that how they liked me and so on, and this is my last bastion is in Great Britain. And the Great Britain is just that yellow dot that you see right there. That's what they interpreted me, basically making themselves look like that's actually Wales. Let me demonstrate you here. You gotta see this stuff yourself. Now you're gonna see just a small place. That's what they indicate is a Great Britain, which is crazy. Right around the Black Pole. See that? That's what they refer to as a Great Britain. Like a province, they refer to this area of Preston as Great Britain. So they claim that this is my place and so on. That's what I'm saying, this stuff. The conservatists, British conservatives, when they learned about my plan for creating another piece of land east of Britain that would involve the same type of island building like the one that you see in China, they got after me, claimed that I would destroy them, that I would destroy British a marine life that is crucial, that is very, very special, very unique, and it would screw everything up in the North Sea. My attempt, my idea to build right next to England, the island. Then I had a fisherman going after me, environmentalists going after me, and of course it was the one who brought this shit up, of course, was no other than Prince Charles. He got an idea for support of the crazy project during MK Ultra known as island buildup in a North Sea. So that contributed also to more torture, but this was not only restricted to Britain and Canada and America. They had an idea about giving me a piece of land also here in Slovenia. That's also an interesting one. They were thinking about creating a little kingdom of their own where I would be a king. Obviously paying the taxes to Slovenes. Maybe delivering more money so they could get more wealth. They came up with how that would be a land right here along this stream here. That's what they insisted on, that it's going to be like this land here. Yeah, by incited all the farmers in crime against me, that I will be stealing them a land, a Kirka pharmaceutical that would not be possible to expand because of me. We also had gone through that kind of stuff. And we had a man by the name Milan Kuchan. This man here, together with his apprentices, such as Robert Golob, this here, and Golobichko, this one here. Basically, they did all they could, everything in their hands to get me killed with the police in eastern part of Slovenia. That will be right here. Everybody saw it. Croats saw it. Hungarians saw it. It's a piece of land in most eastern part of Slovenia. The one that you see right here with Milan Kuchan literally demanding also from the Croats to assign me a piece of land. You see this lands here along the it's this river right here. It's called Mur River, Mura. Milan Kuchan instigated that it would be so fucking good to give me a piece of land, and that would be like a really small piece of land where I would be a king. That would be my kingdom. And So the locals wanted to kill me. I will try to find exactly this area. Yeah, there you go. He wanted to expand this kingdom that I would be entitled to into a greater eastern. It's known as the easternmost point of Slovenian border. There's the one that you see right there. This was the area where also the killing went on. This easternmost point of the Slovenia goes along the river. You see, this is a river. It's called Ledava, just like the way you see it here. This is where bestiality also went on with Milan Kučan, not too far from here. They are basically looking for the area that would give me access, like international access, like through with other countries that I would border to. In this case, including Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, and that kind of stuff. So another one who was extremely tempted into this kind of crime was none other than this man right here. These are the two criminals that were almost like a father and son. This individual here. Yeah, it is. It's very important. There was issue during MK Ultra that American police discussed in my face and bullied with the issue, harassed with the issue about that I should be careful because, well, it does not go along very well with sovereign citizens. See, the thing is, in my real life, I never expressed the desire to become a sovereign citizen. So this is how they fuck the people up. This is how they make the sovereign citizens. This is who is the one who makes the so-called sovereign citizens. I'll be fucking lying to you about this shit here. You can come any fucking time and cut my head off. Or whatever they said in old times, arms, whatever. You understand? If I fucking said to you one thing that it's not true here about the stuff that I have spoken to you about, and these are just few locations like this that they were driving insane into so-called sovereign citizenry. You can come any fucking time to me and you can cut both of my hands. I don't have the problem with it, including head. I think it's very important to understand how they drive people absolutely out of the skin. Take my example, what they did to me. I mean, if I would have seen myself as a Slovenian, as a Slovene, I would be a mental patient. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Acknowledging people who rip my life apart as a people of my own, and or even Americans for what you did to me, I would be pile of shit if this is how I would rate myself. I know, I completely understand you. I understand your point of view. But in extreme situations, it's better to resort yourself to yourself than to see yourself in absolutely even anybody or anyone for that matter. It's extreme. This is extreme. This is extreme. This case is extreme. It's a fucking extreme. It's a total extreme. This is extreme during which King Charles was laughing about my case, claiming me that my case is never going to come out. It's never going to become public, and hired his animals from Britain to present him. He said it's not going to come real anyway, anyhow. And then what he did was he went and he hired these people to present him what it would look like if the truth would come out of this case. What kind of effect this would have on the royal family, how the hell that would look like. He was making fun of it. He had a good time. He was laughing at me. He was having a good time. He felt good about this. I just posted this video here about this stuff here. He was having a great time. Prince Andrew claimed that this is everything stated here. Everything stated here, I told you, for anything that I say, you can come and you can cut both of my hands. If it's anything that I state that is not exactly the way it was. Do you understand that? So that might sound like a total fucking lunacy. You are watching a fucking lunacy from day to day. You read about the crime. You read about the criminals. But you won't go and acknowledge them as such. You won't do that because you need them, because I don't understand. You feared them. I don't understand any of this shit. I don't get it. I don't understand you people. I don't fucking understand you. And honestly, I don't want to understand you anymore. I don't. My business is to survive. My business is not to understand you. You have gone far too far. If I survive this ordeal, it's going to be a big deal for me. This isn't about the money anymore. This is about a pure survival. This isn't even about the money. I was dealing with the absolute animals. With the absolute animals, no less than that. And the thing is that even if something like this would have happened, and I would get the offer, I rather not to even think about that because I feel like I want to vomit as soon as I think about the stuff like this. It's impossible to explain the hatred that I feel toward these people. It's impossible to explain. Every micronation individual that established micronations and so on was involved in this thing. Every fucking individual, everyone, from every micronation, list micronations, not only every government around the world, but every fucking micronation country, and they tortured. There was all kinds of stuff that went on to collect the money, to collect whatever they were after. Every fucking one of them. Every one of them. It's too many to count. Every fucking one of them. I just read a news about Trevor Noah. I understand that he got in the face to of Elon Musk and Bezos, and he got into the billionaires, he stepped on their tail. But the thing is that they were the one they started to promote him. I just read this a few days ago. It was about the money and so on. And they started to value one another, how much is worth who, and so on and so forth. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't see myself in it. I was just a subject through whom those involved in this thuggery started to create friendships and connections, and what I see as a schizophrenia of some kind, basically promoting each other in the eyes of people. Like in a really odd video, I just saw it. Yeah, I saw that video on a Facebook. Really odd video. I might show you in continuation that video about how they own the mainstream media, papers, outlets, and so on. Who, you're gonna see who. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. I don't care really what the fuck they own. They wouldn't own if you wouldn't like. It is just as simple. I actually even posed a question. Well, why do you like it like this? I pose a question of, why don't you do anything about it? It's actually a real serious question. Just the thing is that I don't want to pose here as somebody who can take down entire US government and British and so on across the night. This I have of no interest. We are in this situation because of your taking side of the Slovenes against me. We wouldn't be discussing these issues. I would, even pardon you if you wouldn't go to distance the way you did. It's not a treason. I told you. I wouldn't want to be any part of you based on MK Ultra. I landed so low in this whole shit, and that's what I'm also gonna end this video with. I also read the news about life of Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk, millions from claiming me that I was owner of Bosch Anheuser and hundreds of billions of dollars worth investments and so on. I landed as a husband, as a future husband. That's how I also know that Charlie Kirk is not dead. If he's dead, then I would refer to this almost as a lie of the century or millennium. It's impossible for me to believe that he is dead, actually. Maybe he had some kind of disease or something, but his execution was extremely well planned on. Extremely well planned on. Maybe he was ill or something. Maybe they created it in who knows to what distance this whole thing have gone to. But what I am saying to you, I'm not mentally ill person. What I am saying to you, you can cut both of my hands if I'm lying to you. In front of Erica, in front of his wife, it was about some money that she received, that kind of stuff. Millions. It's about the millions. It's just 10 millions of dollars that Charlie Kirk insisted and it's going to be money for you. You're going to marry her, and that's going to be your wife. And I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. And he was like, what else do you want from me? What else do you want from me? There is that's more than enough money for you and her, and look how beautiful she is, and so on and so forth. Yeah. This shit is real. I'm just saying how low did I actually land it in this whole thing. Like, from what would be worth the entire royal company, that's what the royals claim me. What is it? The Eastern, not the Eastern, I don't know. Yeah, I wrote about that stuff already. I don't know the name of it. To a husband of Eric Kirk with few millions of dollars. I in real life did not look for that kind of opportunity. I never would have settled for any kind of opportunity from any wife I would marry that has the money. I do believe that those who marry extremely appealing women are more likely than not to be and cheated and left behind and exploited, and not even necessarily exploited, but it might just depends on your circumstances, what the circumstances might be. One of the things about me, I don't want to be burdened to absolutely anybody. And the second thing is, getting married to a wealthy woman, more likely than not, you as a male, you will end up like an obedient dog. So you'll never be seen as a man, as I'm not going to say as equal, but usually is somebody or something. You understand me? Now, how pathetic the fuck would that be for somebody whom royals have regarded as a kill switch, as somebody who could shut the entire world down, the governments, the politicians, US Congress, White House, turn absolutely everything around with a split of the second, within minutes, basically. I think that would be very crazy. And not crazy. Let me explain about the crazy. I think, for me personally, that would be ultimate self-denial. This will be like talking to the people at home for elderly people and other people who hear, see, know nothing about it. And I actually like that in Slovenia, because I'm so disgusted with the people that I actually prefer this way. It doesn't really bother me, you know. This is all the time they try to undermine, and you know, all the time they try to undermine, all the time they try to undermine with absolutely everything. Whether you purchase something or whatever it is, and you're sipped instead with the garbage, with reminders of the past, for which they guarantee you're only going to be receiving the garbage and stuff like this. You know? Literally through people who are involved in torture and stuff like this, to make that like, to make your being abused and your being trashed as a total normal. Like, for you to accept that as a normal, as a way of life. Just today I saw the speech about Melania Trump. She gave the new Christmas speech for the military and so on, and I saw that on a Facebook. She was somehow rejected. I actually did say this stuff, so I might be capable to demonstrate you the two paradox issues that I spoke to you about a little earlier. But Melania Trump, I saw that speech. It was a video about that Christmas video about Melania Trump. She gave the. Well, maybe I can actually even get something like. No, it would have to be a source and that kind of stuff. And okay, so maybe there is a such thing. Okay, that's true. Let's see this here. Source will be a Facebook. Anyhow, they regarded her as a disgrace, literally, and she goes on to give stuff about the Santa and stuff like this, and she is repeating herself from what was her presentation in my face during MK Ultra, where she rated me as somebody who is falling apart. How does the Santa go down the chimney and shit, and Santa disappears and so on? In the most negative context you could compare somebody to, maybe the most disgusting part was when you see the U.S. Marine standing right next to her, who was also involved in it, and is, oh, there you go, mocked online for this stuff here. They, like, it was like a mockery and stuff like that. They mocked her and stuff like this. This pro-Russian KGB slut, Slovenian, and that's what Americans, that's what you opted for. You sidelined me, you erased me, and you elected yourself this stuff into the White House. Now you have a Madame Melania, because I don't actually think that you did this because you like her. I think that you're just fucking nasty like this, and it's okay, be it. It's all yours.
How does it work? Does he cinch up his belt, or shrink himself down to the size of a mouse, or stretch out like taffy and step in one leg?
Yeah, she was giving me her misinterpretations of the speech that you have now available for the children. This is just, thank you, I'm gonna say, to you as a people, as an Americans, to give the opportunity for me to feel like this. It's alright, it's okay. Like I said, if I would feel part of you, this would be very, very stressful for me. Or part of the Slovenian. She's a Slovenian. I don't, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. One thing I will say to you, that during her speech she talks about if the Santa, I don't know, if the Santa is not going to disappear, if he's going to survive.
I bet he lets them give him kisses, right? Does he wear night vision goggles that make everything green? I bet he'd like that, because Santa likes green. Since they're good for his eyesight, fog that leaks.
Everything about the eyesight, about the glasses, but the best about Melania was her asking me if I will survive the health ordeal. This is a pure sickness. If you were to talk to her about this stuff as an FBI agent, as a police officer, if you would summon her and interrogate this bitch about the speech that she gave me, and it's a speech that your children now enjoy so greatly, this bitch would be thrown on an electric chair for the stuff like this. And that's exactly what you praise. This is your culture. This is how you do it. And I'm not saying it must be naughty. It must be naughty, right? You like that, so. No, this is not a schizophrenia. This is what needs to be told. People like myself are treated as. Yeah, you would treat like a total trash human being like this. Obviously, I'm not a human being, and because of the great people as you were involved in it, I don't take it to the heart. I haven't seen any people. Like I said, you have to protect your sanity when it comes to the stuff like this. You gotta think about surviving stuff like this, or you will really go mad. Taking people like this for real, seriously, that would be a serious mistake. I am not going to even comment this stuff here.
Earth owns Paramount, which owns CBS, and may soon acquire. The richest man on Earth owns X. The family of the second richest man on Earth owns Paramount, which owns CBS, and may soon acquire Warner Brothers, which owns CNN. He may also acquire TikTok. The third richest man owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The fourth richest man owns the Washington Post. See the problem here?
Yeah, I see. And the only thing I'm going to do is I am going to actually even delete this comment. I don't feel that any kind of comment fits anywhere. So a lot of people would not want to do their stuff as required by the law, as required by as a citizens, and of course by the law, simply because they wanted to get even with other side of political spectrum, and more than anything because they pretend to be different than other side of the political spectrum, which is called rigging, but are really not, because they're all in agreement with this stuff. Sometimes stuff looks real, authentic, but it's not so real, it's not so authentic.
The richest man on Earth owns X. The family
This is not to say that this man is not authentic.
of the second richest man on Earth owns Paramount, which owns CBS, and may soon acquire Warner Brothers, which owns CNN. He may also acquire TikTok. The third richest man owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The fourth richest man owns the Washington Post. See the problem here?
I do. The biggest problem is that you worry about who owns what, and you don't actually want to see the reality is. Democracy is judged by not who owns what, but is judged by abuse of power, authority, and also corrupt opposition that is in agreement with that corrupt authority, with power, to cover up the reality. And when it comes to United States of America, how far have you gone to the distance? I mean, this is just a few things that I mentioned to you here about the stuff that went on during MK Ultra, but who exactly are you people? Who are you people? What exactly are you? I mean, what is this all about?
60% of 30-year-olds used to have a
There is just so many instances of what you have seen with U.S. government trying to do its best to discredit me through involvement in what is portrayed now as crimes and so on, because režisiranje means that you know, write certain scripts, scenarios, and so on, and then you follow up through that with a certain people for the certain political agenda's sake, which of course everything that you make an agreement with whomever that you will play in the future when it comes to the politics through the mainstream media that politicians depict as all that stuff. This is why I see this really childish. All that stuff is all controlled stuff by the main party, by the deep state, basically. It's no coincidence for the outcomes that come out of that stuff. And when I considered that I was part of your agenda, basically dumping me into these incidents, all kinds of stuff like that, with your doing best you possibly could to cross me out, I can't help myself but to see you as a psychiatric state, as a psychiatric nation that relies solely on lies, scam, etc., etc., etc. When it comes to the national debt, look, I wrote about the national debt here. If I am lying for you to any of this stuff, please come and cut both of my hands. Let me be fucking dead by tomorrow if I am lying to you about any of the stuff that I say. Any of it. I had Americans coming because they knew that I was like a hawk in respect to the so-called American national debt, you know? I was like a hawk in respect to the money, when it comes to the money. And they feared my outburst pertaining to the American national debt, you know. They talked about the $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, trillion. Go calculate how much do you think this costs and this and that. Trillion. And do you know how it all ended up? It ended up in an almost identical way as to with Joe Biden. Joe Biden claimed that the student loans he will be writing off, that would be all my money, and he would be doing this for my behaving badly. Let me not wake up tomorrow in the morning if I am lying to you. They came in our house claiming that the national debt is what they owe me. The whole pack of people, Donald Trump people, from the U.S. Congress people, demanding from me to keep my mouth shut in respect to national debt. Fearing, of course, at the same time, the reaction from China, from other major American trading partners on the outcome of the future Donald Trump's negotiations. That's what the hell this was. They didn't know how to lie anymore. But these people that were coming in here, these people were fucking demons. This is MK Ultra, but these demons, you watch them every fucking day. They sleep, eat inside of the White House and inside of the U.S. Congress. You see them all the time when you turn the TV on and they talk to you as a journalist, as a people. Well, what kind of world the fuck is this? What the hell this shit is? Let me go back and I'm gonna play you a beautiful speech of a Melania Trump so that you can continue to enjoy the Christmas story from United States of America, dedicated to you by a KGB, I wouldn't even say slut, I feel slut like myself, but a Madame KGB from Slovenia that you are so excited about, that you are so thrilled to see, I suppose. This is what you got yourself into.
How does it?
It's just 4 minutes.
How does it work? Does he cinch up his belt, or shrink himself down to the size of a mouse, or stretch out like taffy and step in one leg at a time? Maybe Santa can turn into fire, but probably not. Does he go head first, or feet first, or neither? Does Santa ever get stuck partway down and need one of the reindeer to give him a kick? Does his suit get sooty? Or neither? Does Santa ever get stuck partway down and need one of the reindeer to give him a kick?
So this is what you have now in the United States of America. This is your queen, basically, and that big man over there with the diapers, that's your king.
Does his suit get sooty? Because chimney have soot. And then does Santa do laundry before he goes to the next house? And if you don't have a chimney, what happens then? Maybe Santa knows about the key under the flower pot, even thought nobody's ever supposed to mention the key under the flower pot. So how would he found out about that?
But you folks are not ashamed of this shit here? You're not ashamed of it? I mean...
Does he flatten himself and slide under your door? Or does he slip through the pipes and come out of your faucet? Or if you have got a mail slot, I bet Santa folds up like a letter and has a reindeer pop him through. And I bet the stamp on Santa is one of those Santa stamps too. Dogs must like Santa very much, or else they bark. He probably carries treats in his pocket and knows just where every dog likes to be scratched. He tells them they're good and whispers them names, which he knows without even looking at their collars. I bet he lets them give him kisses right on his beard, if they're kind of dogs that like to lick. Can Santa see in the dark? Does he wear night vision goggles that make everything green? I bet he'd like that, because Santa likes green. Or heat vision goggles, because he might like red better. Should we leave out carrots, not cookies, on Christmas Eve, since they're good for his eyesight? No, the twinkling lights on the tree will make enough light for Santa to see, tiptoeing past chairs without bumping his knee, to leave a present or two or three, and get a kiss from the dog, if it's a dog that licks, and take a cookie or two or three, and then leave. Santa goes up the chimney the same way he comes down, and I have no idea how Santa does that. But I'm so glad he can. Thank you. I'm sure Santa will visit all of you this Christmas and bring you a lot of toys. So I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish you a lot of strength and love. My husband, President, is sending love and best wishes as well. Thank you for having me here. Thank you. How does Santa do it?
Here's the date and day when I release this. Do you people know what you're watching at all here on the front page of the Yahoo? Do you understand even what you're watching? Because I understand. There might be people out there who think I don't understand what I watch. I do understand what I watch. I very good understand. What you watch right there demonstrates the level of democracy in the United States of America. The deported veteran, and I don't want to know about the rest of it because of my own situation, because the way they handle this thing. And this is the way they handle, exactly the way you see it. It appears that ICE got U.S. veteran and deported one. I could go and I could play you that. Good night story, good night Christmas story from Melania Trump again. I could do that. She boasted about how educational it is, how you eat, what you eat, etc., etc. For the children, this is the new way to teach children through the cookies and carrots stories, Christmas stories. Folks, this goes to show, no, I don't even believe that American veteran who was deported was not in agreement with ICE, with immigration authorities, with American politicians, with, I should say, completely controlled opposition, for it's very difficult to know who the fuck opposition is. I don't believe him for a second. Not even for a second. Just yesterday I saw a bunch of hypocrites involved in MK Ultra through Bloomberg. So I want you to understand what you watch, what actually you really watch, because this way I can demonstrate you the level of democracy in the United States of America, the stuff that you should know, how low country United States of America was and did go. How low? Let me demonstrate you the level of democracy. Let me demonstrate you the level of democracy. I'm gonna demonstrate you the level of democracy.
Tell the agent.
This Jew, Bloomberg is his name, and he was not the only immigrants that were deported, American citizens who were deported. Deported, I should have arrested, held. American citizens assaulted brutally by agents of the US government. These were not the only Americans who were arrested, but in agreement with the US government, in whose lives US government officials literally involved me during MK Ultra. Literally is Bloomberg, the guy, the Jew over there that you see right there, flashed me what appear to be exactly the sessions that you see right here on the Facebook. Let me demonstrate you.
Let me ask each of you, did you make an effort to tell the agent, masked, unidentified, from an unmarked car, that you were a United States citizen, and did you make an effort to present identification? Mr. Redis?
Yes, I made it very clear that I was a U.S. citizen. It was the first thing out of my mouth. They asked me if I had an ID. I told them I did. I told them that I was a citizen. I said I have license plate that could prove I'm a disabled veteran. I have a sticker on my windshield that says I'm an Iraq combat veteran. I gave them any opportunity they wanted for me to show them proof.
Ms. Figueroa?
I did have a chance to eventually let them know, but that was already after I was in FBI custody, so maybe like 4 hours into the assault.
The year was 2014, with the people that you see right there, for whom Blumenthal claimed that he's got something really hot for me. He started to work on this project in 2012 when they threw me into psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje, claiming that he's got something really big for me. Now you go out there and make a claim that you are inside of the Senate with him on a hearing, together with the people that are presented over there, were just arrested by the ICE. Go and make the statement like this. This is exactly what took place in my case. That's exactly, I am making the statement. Make no mistake. This is like a statement that you would say, oh wow, now you're insane. Making a statement like this. Making a statement like this goes to show how corrupt, how criminal, basically goes to show the level of American democracy also in 2025. It goes to show what the United States of America is made out of. Now go and fucking immigrate to United States of America, the greatest land on earth. It's a psychiatric democracy which is rigged, corrupt, criminal, organized crime as anything ever existed on earth. It's not a democracy. It's not a democracy.
Yes, I was at an airport. They had my...
Would it be difficult to prove that what I stated actually is fact? 99.99% of the people would say this is impossible to prove. At least the people who were involved in it, they claimed they would do the stuff that would be impossible to prove. Yes, of course it's impossible to prove. Million of you who testified this case, you all can say that this case did not exist. Those of you who testified this case, however, all of you know that what I stated is fact and nothing other than true and nothing other than true and nothing other than fact. So how far do you, United States of America, Jew, and I told you German or Jew, the same is the Jew. I told you about that stuff already. How low are you willing to go to prove that I am actually mentally ill, paranoid, schizophrenic? How far are you willing to go? So this is the level of democracy in the United States of America. So, is it a country, the United States of America, or is a regular schizophrenia? Shit. Lies, delusion, illusion, organized crime. And you're going to say this is a conspiracy theory. Yes, of course. You already created the whole world of what is more than evident conspiracy theories. Well, what's interesting about your conspiracies is you did not hospitalize them. You did not throw them into the psychiatric care because you refer to your own schizophrenia that you create to prove that there is such a thing like conspiracy theory. You refer to one as a democracy. So you're proving the democracy through not institutionalizing, not jailing the scum that you use to create perception about something, false theories, plots, conspiracy theory, as you refer to them as, with ultimate goal to stash in that basket also people like myself. And you call this a democracy. You call this
passport and everything else. I came through.
ICE was directly involved in this stuff. U.S. immigration was directly involved in this stuff. They had who knows how many immigrants that I saw that they were deported through the mainstream media who were involved directly in this case of MK Ultra. That they would get them deported, then they would get them back imported in the US. Before they would get them deported, they would make agreement with their local governments, wherever they would deport them, to either completely rip them apart if they were bad people, therefore in a complete agreement with their governments, or just get them a jobs, get them a different life, get them basically going back in their countries. Immigrants participated in this stuff because they needed a job. They were caught by the police. They were caught by immigration in the US. And what happened was they allowed them to work. They allowed them to have jobs in return for involvement in this case. This is the way it functions. you must admit that if you were in my situation, you too would feel threatened against if you see stuff like I stated right there. This is my word against several people out there, against the Congress people whom I have acknowledged as Jew, an entire country, an entire Congress, corrupt criminal network, nothing more than that. What am I supposed to do? How am I gonna acknowledge this kind of stuff? So you can see, it clearly can be seen who went into the distance to prove what. It's interesting that Americans claim that contrary to the Slovenes, they will be the one who will recognize my case. That's really, really interesting.
Trusted traveler programs, the lane that you're supposed
and this regardless.
to just go through in a few seconds. I've had them for years.
Nice fucking story, isn't it? It would have been, from my perception, more interesting if it wouldn't be for the sake of the political lobby, and the political lobby passed some kind of human rights. You cannot talk about no fucking human rights for as long as you created a case like this. And this case goes on to reveal the truth more about your democracy, more about your human rights.
I've been extensively vetted. I'm an educator and superintendent. We go through lots of background checks. The government has a
by the way, involved in torture.
Lot of information on me. They knew exactly who I was.
Yeah, who the fuck you were. You got a lot of information. That means that, you know what that means, Chico? That means that your U.S. government will hide and lie and is using you to prove that something is wrong with me about what your part was inside of MK Ultra, because under normal circumstances, if it was up to the law, you would get nothing other than bullet in your head. They would take you behind the U.S. Congress building and put the bullet in your head, boy. You know what the fuck you were involved in? You know what kind of torture sessions this were? And what the U.S. government does instead is, it put him on a picture for him to say, the U.S. government know who I am. I'm an educator. Therefore, I'm a normal people. If I go out there and I associate with the people and I do the job, I'm a normal person. This is a fucking shit message of the U.S. government to the people. It appears to me like the U.S. government is trying to wreak like global civilization, civilized society, demonstrate them a different side of the reality also. It's like encouraging basically to boost insane, unlimited crime, basically Twilight Zone. Then call it a fucking Twilight Zone. Don't fucking call it no more like globalization and this and that. This is about something else. You want to talk about the China democracy, China this, China that. Did China go like this? China does stuff like this? China goes out there to prove stuff like this? They do that? I haven't seen, I didn't watch Chinese politics. I didn't do that. But this is quite impressive, man. Dude, by the way, this is just my message to you. If I could, I would have taken you behind the building and put the fucking bullet between your eyes, looking at you and knowing when dodging bullet in your head that I'm doing exactly the right thing. You're a fucking animal. You're an educator, you call yourself whatever the hell you want, but you're still animal no matter what. Yes, I'm violent. I'm violent because MK Ultra, just as I pointed out in previous video, doesn't exist. MK Ultra is illusion. MK Ultra doesn't exist. Your spectacles from United States of America, the supporters of Bill Clinton, claim publicly that he even apologized for MK Ultra, no? Bill Clinton apologized for MK Ultra, but MK Ultra doesn't exist. That's just the illusion. That's how the novel master animals claimed. For that other part, that's what you claim me during MK Ultra, for that other part, and that's what you refer to as MK Ultra, of course. That's just the illusion. That doesn't exist. They talk. This is the way they talk to me. Basically, me listening to them surrounded with them, in front of them, sitting inside of our kitchen, saying to me, we're not here, we're not talking to you. This is how far this crime have gone. And you want to talk to him about your American democracy, you want to pose some kind of democracy and justice for all, and etc., etc. It's like this. I feel sorry for many immigrants who were fucked in between, because there was also good, honest people who got fucked because of assholes like this animal right there. And more than anybody, the Jew, whom I have pointed out over there, Bloomberg. U.S. government would not want to take chance. It's about anti-Semitism, therefore. Right? So that's how you get your group of selected Jews.
Ms. Velez?
Yes, I told them multiple times I was a U.S. citizen. I gave them my real ID and my driver's license.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, they do. I told them multiple times I had my passport. I had my passport with me, and I told them I was born in San Bernardino. They were.
By the way, this guy was not bad, and the girl was not bad, but that cookie right there, if I would get one, I would unload on him a whole lot, man.
Just replying, you know what, we're not asking for that.
That's fucking violent, by the way. You put me in a mode, into a psychological mode, very, very negative, very, very bad day, very, very bad way to start the day, by the way.
So I was asking, what are you detained for?
Ms. Velez, after detaining you for 48 hours...
What exactly is this animal not capable of? What exactly is this animal not capable of? Look at him. He's clean, he's shaved, he's well dressed, he's acquainted with the laws, he interacts over there like a fucking actor from Hollywood is making appearance as a serious, honest, earnest individual, just a state official, lawmaker. What the fuck is this guy not capable? What the fuck is this guy not... This is a hitman. Do you know what the fuck hitman is? Do you know what the fuck the hitman is? Do you know what the difference is between this one here and between... It doesn't come to me right now. A random hitman. This one here was really famous, this Richard Kuklinski. What exactly is the difference between him and Richard Kuklinski? This one doesn't have to hide. This one is dressed up, being taken care of, well, everything, security, top state government official. What the fuck is your government then? What the hell is your government? What the fuck is your government then? What are you all about? I mean, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm asking myself, what the fuck, where the fuck did I emigrate to? Where the hell did I immigrate to? What is to you to dress up like this and go out there and make a persona and make yourself this? The level of American democracy is exactly as I exposed in this video. That's how they make the sovereign citizens. That's how they make all this lunacy going. It's what people are afraid to get in. It's what people are afraid to discuss because it's so disgusting. It is so repulsive. The truth is so ugly, so twisted, so disgusting. Yeah, that this is the truth. This is the fucking truth. Charlie, look, you see what they do? You see what they do? They raise their hands. They raise their hands. When you go out there, they say, "You swear you will tell true and nothing but true. God help me." You see what this is? You see what this shit is? You know what the psychiatric democracy is? Psychiatria? Psychiatric democracy? See what this shit is? They don't like to talk about this stuff. They don't want to know anything about this stuff here. What is it here? What the fuck is it? The branch of medicine concerned with the study, diagnosis, and treatment of mental illness? That's not true, because the major part pertains to the stuff I talked about in this video. Then comes the treatment and etc., etc. Well, the killing is done through the treatment anyways. So this is a psychiatric democracy, basically. It's a super, super large industry. Bigger industry than General Motors. Much bigger industry than General Motors. It's what regulates the United States of America. It's what United States of America democracy is based on. Yet you don't see one mentioned in the Constitution. You don't see one mentioned in the Bill of Rights. Absolutely anywhere. You don't see one actually mentioned anywhere. Nobody knows about this here. Yet, it's 10 times as big as General Motors. And directly affiliated with the US Congress, with the Senate, with the White House. Directly. Now, if I swear and I put my right hand, wearing a badge or whatever it is, then that must be the truth. Charlie, look. Charlie traveled all across the Canadian-American border, had me throughout every village, claimed that he is looking for my homeland, for my sovereign state. It's exactly what he was using me for. Throughout entire area of American-Canadian border, he was looking for my homeland. In a parenthesis, it was so interesting to him to travel and see, through my case, the border issues pertaining to Canadian and American side, smell everything in and out on how to see it, etc., etc. It's like, was using me also to do the complete control check. Look where I ended up. Look how I ended up. Look at my case. Read under my case. Get familiarized with my case. Read how my life went. Once they throw you into psychiatric hospital, once they throw you inside of the psychiatric hospital, they're no longer guilty. They're no longer the one to blame for your poisoning, for whatever they have done to you. They don't come anymore. They're not responsible for whatever they did to you anymore. It's like it never happened, because the psychiatric medications are made in such a way that it fucks your body up and gets you killed. They're designed to reduce your life expectancy greatly. And that's exactly what they did in 2012. That's how this stuff works. That's what this is. Read this stuff. Read this stuff. To learn about invisible people. To learn about the invisible people. Read about it. American democracy is a fucking twilight zone. Lunacy. That's what American democracy is. I'm now 54 years old. They told me, you're gonna be complaining, you're gonna be crying like a baby, you're gonna live 200 years, you're gonna be. Now it's new medications, it's new this, it's that, I don't know what the fuck it is. So everything that you're going to say, anything you're going to say against us and this and that, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. You're going to have to live with it. Folks, honestly, when it comes to the United States of America, based on what I experienced, based on the stuff that I experienced, it made me feel good during MK Ultra to travel to the United States of America with so many young people of all walks, backgrounds that I met. It was a good feeling also. It was also a good feeling. Next to the thuggery, it was also a good feeling. It was something positive. And to that issue, Charles referred to as the main issue. That was like something that you could not make it through, you would not survive through. It was crucial for you, it was essential for you to alive, to survive, and so on. I'm sorry that I haven't seen it that way. And I'm never going to see it that way. Law is law. It's a very simple thing. It requires you to report the crime when it comes to smuggling, poisoning, human trafficking, torture. Of course, once you get involved in one, there's also no need to report one because you become part of it. Understandable. You basically present your system through but you present your political system, your country, your system through world of conspiracies, which of course are controlled conspiracies, I'm going to say as a form of justice. And that's exactly what that is. If you present how, they grab certain people and expose them out and or arrested them, held them against their will, and these are citizens that was, U.S. veteran or whatever, all through the veteran status doesn't have a shit to do with it. If you're a criminal, you're a criminal. You can be a veteran and you're not a citizen. It's not the same thing that applies to you as it applies, I'm not going to say to the citizens, but already to the green card holders. Now, I'm at fault here because I said it doesn't make no difference. It makes difference because the veterans cannot be less than at least green card holders. A green card. You people don't even understand what kind of strength, power, the status of the green card holder already holds. You don't have to be a citizen. Already to have a green card is impossible, close to impossible to deport person. Unless the person is violating laws, doing really criminal activities and so on. This is other area I don't want to get into. You portray through conspiracy theories, controlled conspiracy theories, the state of your democracy. You portray to the world, you paint picture about how in America there is bad people, but that there is statesmen, there is state officials who, however, prove goodness of American democracy. Therefore, through controlled conspiracy, through list of crimes that you yourself have created with this movement of yours, in a parenthesis, in order to confront the leading elite rule, Donald Trump in this case, obviously Republicans. Richard Bloomberg is a Jew, and I told you the Jews are rigged, that Donald Trump praised Jews overall because of the rigging, because of his ability to negotiate with them. rig American democracy. I can't do nothing other but ask, what the fuck? This is a question for the US Democrats though. What the fuck was I brought to the Senate to watch this shit, if not to assist Donald Trump in portraying the injustice, which by the way did took place against a lot of, you don't have to be documented for injustice to take place against you. Every American immigrant that got injured in the US and has been deported, there's been a lot of people deported. It's not only your mainstream media that you depicted, is actually terribly, terribly, terribly affected by your schizophrenia. That's schizophrenia. This is what I refer to as your American democracy is. Yet you use them and you use my misfortunate circumstances in Slovenia. How do you, let me ask you a question. How do you feel, how do you think you made me feel when you brought me from psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje to watch stuff like this in the US, for which I knew, I saw it, that you're trying to prove my being insane, obviously. I would go out there. I did not even know for sure exactly what's going to happen, what the situation is going to be. I did not know. But the way it was presented, beginning of 2012, when Richard Blumenthal started to search for his own gimmick, together with Donald Trump. Donald Trump had me tortured in Nicaragua and throughout the Central America. Donald Trump personally, Republicans personally were involved in torture and overseas abductions also to the Central America, where they had their people basically espionage going. What they do is they torture you, and in between they also exchange information, that kind of stuff. It's like a bridge that they use. And since in the future there was, expulsion of illegal immigrants, in a parenthesis, that will come, this alone creates a bridge of communication. You can say that at this point in time right now there's a whole lot of shit going on. This was like a major espionage that affected also Colombia as well as Venezuela, all these countries also in northern part of South America, wherever these immigrants would be deported back. How do you think that made me feel? How do you think that made me feel to be hijacked, literally in some cases, from the Slovenia, from psychiatric hospital Slovenia, for torture in Central America, and also torture in United States of America, because the immigrants who were extorted through for their jobs-wise in the US, literally through involvement into torture. How do you think that made me feel as a human being, to have not testified this stuff, but evidently it was done in such a way so that it would prove beyond any doubt that I'm mentally ill? How do you think in the future, obviously, if you were to pull this kind of stuff like you pulled out now, what exactly is that other than that? How do you think that made me feel? I mean, you're talking about the democracy, you're posing over there as a justice, as a just, and so on. Blumenthal claimed with this group of guys that you see there, the other guy whom I suggested should be executed behind the Congress building. I wouldn't even waste a minute on shit. He became a nice person. In fact, he even became motivated in helping out. That's what they claim. All four of these guys that you saw, Blumenthal exchanged with, became apparently even motivated in helping me out. But this isn't about only me. You're portraying a selected group of people through the mainstream media, which were involved in not only these four, many of them, many of so-called victims of ICE arrests. That injustice took place. It sounds to me like a very, very controlled deep sea operation. Is because those that would be, those that are magnified, illuminated, are the people through whom the governments are going to go through, because they have the proof, they have the evidence, and it's what other immigrants are going to relate to mentally. You know what I mean? It's like a guided, controlled SEAL operation, the whole thing. And it is. It is. I'm not mistaken about it. I know about this stuff. Too much I know about this stuff to be mistaken about it. Well, how do you think it made me feel? Dumped away, ran over. If I wouldn't escape beginning of 2016 from Slovenia, I would have been killed. I would be dead. And it did not last me once I returned from Belarus. Not even a year and a half, when I had to escape from Slovenia again for dear life. When you were doing all this stuff. Today I feel good. Today I don't give a fuck about what you have to say in America, what you got to present yourself. I don't give a shit about all of you. I don't care. I got my shit together at the right place. I know what the world is made out of. But how do you think it made me feel when I had to run to fucking nowhere just to stay alive, while you were depicting yourself as a democratic country, a fine country, as a good country, as a country of the immigrants, as an American citizen? How it made me feel. Since 2000 I became naturalized American citizen. How do you think that made me feel? I'll tell you how it makes me feel now. It doesn't, it overall, when I draw the line today, I said to myself, hey man, it doesn't matter how it made you feel. What matters is how it makes you feel today. And today, I can say to you, I don't see myself, look, today, shit in it. Not even what I have behind the fingernails. One single fingernail. That's how it makes me feel today. It's relieving to know that I finally get my sanity back after, well, I was 54 years old 3 days ago, on December 9. 3. And so if you continue to repeat the lie over and over and over and over and over, right? So then it becomes the truth. That's what this is. So keep repeating your lies. You have many different outlets you have. You have many different outlets. You have many different media, mainstream media outlets. And you make sure that people would get your channels through the satellite TV. And, all kinds of TV that you would be accessible, that people could get, nice, your journalists are so presentable, so well outspoken, so behaved, rationally and logically, everything. You know what you are really. You know what you guys really are. Presenting through controlled plots, conspiracies, destroying people like myself, real people, presenting yourself as credible, as a democracy, as good against the evil. While basically really killing real people. Just think about how you made me feel, scum. Think about what I told you in this video. About all this blah, 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 blah that went on. That people watched from all over the world and learned about. The people knew around the world about this, about your money, about your trillions dollars, etc., blah, blah, blah. They watched this. They listened. They testify to this stuff. They heard these lies about life expectancies and all that stuff. But at the same time, the police, the Slovenian police, gestured me. I just recalled this 3 days ago. I recall this stuff. They gestured me, man, make sure that you have aspirin with you, because there was a guy whom I have spoken with at Home for Elderly People, and he reminded me of the aspirin issue. This is because they are great to stop the stroke from destroying you completely. That means to walk the line. That's the shit that means to walk the line. And this is not what democracy is supposed to be about. You're gonna go under my file about what, this and that, and you're gonna get electric shock of your life about when you're gonna look really what the United States of America is as far as democracy, what it is, what the country is. Then you're gonna become electrified. Then you're gonna see what the fuck is this America. You get to know my case, and then you fucking tell me tomorrow if you still want to go and travel to the United States of America beyond acquiring knowledge, whatever you need, and then, you know, if your government sends you or something like that. Maybe. The government is corrupt. The government is disgusting. Even so, I'm telling you, even if they send you to the US, there is always beyond your, you know, there's a lot of misfortune in it. There's always beyond your, whatever you will specialize yourself to become a physician or whatever, wherever they might offer over there as an entry in. Might be always somebody who might find interest in you, and they want to have their ways and so on. It could be very dangerous. One way or the other, America is extremely dangerous. The world is, in general, extremely dangerous. This shit can also happen to you in another country. It can happen to you anywhere around the world. But, you know, a democracy, this is definitely not a democracy. This is a Twilight Zone democracy. It's a controlled psychiatry. Through controlled opposition, psychiatry is what this shit is. When they talk about the Republicans and Democrats, when they all talk about the politics, and they go on to spit their heart out, and you know, through some kind of extreme. For me, that's fucking extreme. The American veteran thrown out of the country, and American citizens arrested. That's fucking bullshit, excuse me. Because I know, because there is no country that would do this. If you tell the person that you are American citizen that stopped you, that person does not have a credible cause to proceed with arresting you and taking you away. He is obligated to learn about whether you are an American citizen or not. And upon your presenting document, he is obligated to verify your ID immediately. Now, do these things are necessary to control the immigration and police the streets? Absolutely. I don't understand what kind of country can. This also goes to demonstrate. It goes to demonstrate the real level of American democracy. How the fuck did you even get to this level of undocumented number of people involved in crime, running the criminal networks, the drugs and so on, drug networks and so on? How the hell did you even get to this? How the hell did you even get to this? You, however, obviously had a reason to get to this. You want to portray somebody as a savior of America. You wanted to portray somebody as credible it can be, legitimate, and that also goes to show your level of American democracy, what as a country as whole, as a nation, who and what you are. It's a nation of schizophrenics, delusionatics. Instead of lunatics, I would say delusionatics. people who see something that does not really exist with idea to fool others on perception as for what really is happening. By the way, do you know what it means to be tortured into oblivion? Tortured? When you tortured so much for so long that you can't even stand up on your feet, that you tortured for so long, so much, traumatized, that you don't even discern between 6 years old, maybe even 5 years old, and a grown-up person, and or a lady that is maybe over 60, and a girl that is maybe 20. Do you know what the fuck that means? Do you know what it means to be traumatized, to see as normal things that are absolutely not normal? For me personally, this is not a problem, which might seem to you crazy. I have gone through this 1,000,000 times. How many times I have gone through what I stated to you? $10,000 times for sure, and it's more. Days, I should say. Days. I'm actually thinking about what I stated right now. That's 4,000 days if you take 11 years and you multiply them with 365. The problem is somewhere else. The problem for me, the biggest problem for me is somewhere else. Is it the country and countries that do the stuff like this, and states people that are out there, that they just take no fucking responsibility for it? It's what really concerns me. What kind of country that could be? I mean, in this video I'm discussing issue of America, of Britain, Canada. It deeply disturbs me when I think about that there is people out there that they just don't see this as an issue and have even contemplated on substituting what I stated to you with certain issues. I'm not going to get into it. I mean, expect me literally to settle for lies like the one pertaining to the Blumenthal that's affected who knows how many immigrants in the United States of America. See myself in a lie like this would just demonstrate how weak I am, how sick I am in the head, basically. Believe that somebody would come and reveal the truth about the stuff like this, be on my side and so on. That would truly concern me. That would really concern me. There are two things, but the second one is the one that disturbs me the most. The mentality of the people, their umska naravnanost, I don't know how you say that, their mind the way they center their mind, the way they view everything is. That fucking guy, it's like you would be watching Richard Kuklinski. It's like a fucking serial killer on steroids over there inside of the U.S. Senate, Congress, giving a total misinformation to the mainstream media about some kind of justice, imaginary justice is out there, and so on. Giving a total through the lies, basically. Because reality is whatever you manage to repeat. And I don't have the ability, I don't have the power to repeat my stuff. I'm mortal. Easily can be outlasted and easily can be outpaced and deleted from the internet. When it comes to US government, I don't have ability to outpiece one. I don't have the ability to outlive one. And it appears that this is the definition of democracy, basically. Just keep repeating the lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie, and it becomes the truth. The guy is dead, the guy is whatever they do to him, just click the button, the delete button. Year is 2025, the same shit like it was 1940, whatever. The level of democracy, it's called America. It's a democracy. It's a constitutional democracy. That's a democracy. That's how that is. I thought that would be interesting to discuss about constitutional monarchies such as Britain and the United States of America, and etc., etc., make you a little bit more realistic about when you watch the media, when you watch things, for you to understand what exactly you watch. Yeah, yesterday when I was at the father, and I try to reason him every fucking time I go to him. I try to reason him. I don't feel sorry for him no more, because I never had a chance in my lifetime. He had nothing other than chance in his lifetime. He always had. He blew one chance after another. He blew so many chances. He just did not want to. This is just basically. I'm gonna put the videos on. Stuff you do in America makes a strong impression here in Slovenia. Father doesn't know or remembers anything. He's very logical, very rational, understands absolutely everything. I go to him every day, and I try to understand this stuff. And basically, already the consequences of the stuff that you do in America, you'd be surprised. On the other hand, if you don't have a parents like this, the governments will also not go to the distance like that. But you can see, you can feel the impact of these animals here in Slovenia, the way they pursue, the way they view, and that's exactly what went all along with Americans, British, Germans, always relying on these animals here in Slovenia, using them to for the bad stuff, for the stuff so bad that even it would be most logical and most I would not see myself in them, basically make one to take sides. You understand? Animals, so bad animals that already the stuff that I talked about is so extremely negative for me, for the work I did, for the stuff I created, for my legacy, that it puts me like in a shit position when compared to the Slovenes. You're now portraying basically Slovenes as the one who accomplished everything that I have done. Literally. Through the stuff you do inside of the US Congress, through your schizophrenia, through the stuff that you enforce. you absolutely are creating your order with the Slovenes, I'm going to say completely based on MK Ultra. No, this is all connected. It's all interconnected when it pertains to my case. You would say, but you shouldn't be talking about this stuff. Yeah, that would be even better, man. That would be like turning back to somebody that would just pretend that you see nothing, that would just run you over with a car or something like that. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Your work that you do in the U.S. Congress, stuff that you do in the U.S. in respect to my MK Ultra case, it makes a huge, huge, huge difference. Yet yes, I would be insane, delusional, for not seeing you exactly for what you are. U.S. immigration itself impacted enormous number of people. Enormous number of people. Detention I don't even understand these numbers here. This is, they say, 60 out of 65,000. It appears that 48,000 had no criminal conviction. Therefore, 70,000, roughly 65,000, no, 65,000 something people, you know. And these are the people that monitored through ICE programs, 182,000 and so on. These are basically the numbers, the real numbers when it comes to this stuff. Not few people that you have inside of the Congress, Senate, whom you believe you're going to change the course of the main thing is that the world becomes aware about what kind of job, what exactly you really do, what exactly is going on, what's in it for you, really the level of your democracy. Where are you at with this? How you stand with this stuff here? How you range with all this stuff? You know, that's like the main thing for me, for the world to understand that you're not a democracy. The stuff that you do is a different kind of stuff that you do. You might look like a democracy and everything, but within your society, it's different laws that exist. It's different rules that you enforce for different people, and you do engage in a trade with those whom you publicly, and talking about the human rights trade, whom you acknowledge as ultimate evil, and etc., etc. Yeah, that's you. That's really you. I thought this is important. You get to hear every fucking day. You get to hear on the from people, oh, how great America is. America gave me this. America gave me that. Thank you, America. You know, America, and so on. You know, the greatest country in the world, America. You know, what America gave me, what America this and that. America, you know, the greatest country, the America is the greatest country. The America is greatest, then I am a fucking rat. For all of you who have seen the greatest, I don't even fucking exist. I'm a shadow, I am a non-existing, I'm air, I'm nothing for the greatest, the America. Clearly that your greatness is measured by the organized crime, the degree and the level of the organized crime. Clearly. And so don't forget to mention this to the people when you advertise, like on a daily basis, when you advertise your justice, your stuff about, you know, don't forget to mention them. don't forget to mention them something little, some little tiny little thing, however, that you are so afraid of, that you are so fucking afraid of, like I exposed in this video. You are made out of lies and organized crime greatness, and it totally goes into, you talk about Eastern Europeans having their elites, their apparatchiks, their establishment, establishment. What about you in America? You fucking invented one. You fucking invented the fucking establishment rules. You are nothing other than establishment. Look at you based on my case. You're not allowed to fucking breathe. You don't have a one sportsman, one sport person in the whole America, one physicist, one scientist that would not be part of your establishment since he was a baby. One single fucking one. You're exactly what you said about others, that others do and others have and so on. That's exactly you. I heard a lot of expressions for people. All kinds of people see themselves, view themselves as, pursue themselves as, it's all kinds of stuff that I see. But it appeared to me like everybody played by some kind of rules of the society. It's very, very good, very coordinated. It's always, I'm not part of any of this stuff. I never was part of any of it. I am none of this stuff. I never was part of any kind of establishment. I was demonstrated everything that you can see in the U.S., everything that the U.S. has. I was taken to the all military bases. I was taken to most locations sensitive to the U.S. government, and the same in several other countries and so on. I've seen, not seen, but was there, and yeah, well, they demonstrated me whatever. They wanted to make me feel special about myself. Because apparently making somebody feel special about himself is equal as to whatever part you guys were of. I never was part of any of this stuff. I never was. None of your rules pertain to me, really. And frankly, I couldn't find my place on earth with you on the picture, with seeing you as valid. You understand me what I'm trying to say? You denied me. You always denied me. You denied me. It's like the definition I told you about the Slovenian police. You always denied me. You always denied me. And for me personally, I would deny myself if I would recognize you as anything other. And it doesn't go only for Americans. It goes the same for everybody. It goes the same for Chinese, with whom we made an agreement also, how you're going to resolve this issue. And it goes the same for the Japanese, and it goes the same for the Germans, and it goes the same for, and when it comes to Russia, don't worry about it. I wouldn't even talk about it. It's the same shit for everybody, I feel, for every one of you. It goes the same for the Indians. Maybe interesting about the India was Narendra Modi, who talked to me about the intelligence community, that I'm part of it and I'm important and this and that. I'm no fucking part of any of you. I never was any part of you, any of you. I'm just a junk, a garbage basically. See these garbage cans? See this here? See this? Here, let me show you. See this here? I grew like this wheat, like this fucking wheat, out of fucking nothing. This is who the fuck I am. And I want to stay like this because you destroyed my entire life. You completely delete me my life. You never were part of me, and you're never going to be any part of me. There is nothing inside of me that is part of you. That's very, very important for me to stress out that I'm a human being, and I will not allow for you to grow inside of me in absolutely any way, because you saw me like a trash. You treated me during MK Ultra like a trash, like a junk. Sometimes as a royal, so that you pose next to me and you had to prove that it was for something else. But at age 54 it becomes evident, that you were. And I would not want to, I would not want your fucking castles and your fucking lands and your fucking countries and your islands and your, all your precious stuff that you have. I would not want to fuck you motherfuckers. When I consider all this stuff, what you did to me, what you did, you pedos, you scum. You can feel good about yourself, scum. You can go buy yourself, you can go to the dealer, you can buy yourself a new car, you feel good about yourself, you can go and you wear yourself a nice watch, a nice dress. For me personally, the idea about all this stuff is disgusting. It disgusts me, because I want to die, spend the rest of my life the way I spent the life basically the way the life was. I break you, I destroy you, scum. I completely surpassed all of you. I left you behind, far behind. You are nothing other than lies. You are nothing other than lies. How do you feel about this when you hear from me and it's proven that all of you were nothing other than lies? But I'm never going to see myself in what you refer to as beautiful and good and this and that. Not because of Chinese that was sending me junks and stuff like this, based on MK Ultra brainwash. That's how you make me feel like a junk, and then you also send me junk. It makes sense. That's what you want. You want to create the persona out of the person that is, I don't know, a lunatic, suicidal, and dangerous for society, and so on. That's how you wanted to portray me, present me as mentally ill person. Just so that you know that I view you as all your recordings, all your videos, all of you that were involved in it, that you discussed these issues and that you went. I don't see you, and I'm never going to see you as a credible. I'm never going to see you as legitimate. You were, truly are, like an air. Like you did not even fucking exist. And every fucking one of you would take heads off your shoulders, I should say, of your kids and your parents, to get to the status, to the level I managed to get. This is how disgusting you are. This is what you manage actually through this. And I guess that's exactly what you want. I guess this is that other part of the reality about, even, when it comes to accomplishing something, about becoming something, and etc., etc. That's that other sick part of American story, democracy. That the person who actually accomplishes something, he doesn't want to see himself anymore in absolutely anything that you have to offer. That's pretty fucking brutal, if you ask me, to advertise people some kind of democracy and stuff like this, and actually this is the reality about one. That's pretty disgusting.